And I look at me, I'm still full of beans, blah, blah, blah.
You get home at 2 o'clock in the morning and you start work at 6 o'clock. Well, when do you sleep? They managed time so well that there was no time for any more than 4 hours. And I never felt tired.
Why do you think you never felt tired?
I don't... Because I was just so busy. I was just in a, this constant go. There was literally no time to be tired.
I have a joke, and one of the jokes is that sleep is an indulgence in unconsciousness. And as their unconsciousness increases, a person needs less sleep.
Yes.
So 5 hours is plenty for lots of people. 6 hours is an abundance.
And it depends on the person.
Another person needs 8 or 9 hours before. They never really feel rested when they wake up after 8 hours.
Every weekend is taken up with different sessions, and that's because they control what they can do and when they can do it. And if you can control every minute of their waking day, you control them.
If you wish to become more creative with your life, here is the opportunity to do it. We have a wonderful technology. Don't underestimate energy conversion. You got this, here's the brain cells and the energy imposing on the brain cells. Now what you are handling with the energy converter, or the person giving the session, is the discharge that results as a consequence of this energy, the reactive energy, imposing itself on the cells of the brain. Is that true? That's that. Yeah.
Is it okay that after the workshop tonight you don't listen to heavy interpolative music? The change you are experiencing at the workshop is very subtle, and this kind of music will affect your understanding of the communication of the workshop. Is that okay with everyone?
Yep. Yeah.
Thank you. Okay.
The areas being handled are very subtle, and talking about your experience could alter it and not give you the maximum gains from the workshop. People come to this workshop on a basis of trust. Is it okay that you don't discuss with anyone who wasn't here what has happened at the workshop, as it could be misunderstood if it was taken out of context? Is that okay with everyone?
Yeah.
Please raise your hand if that's not okay with anyone. Thank you.
If you talk about somebody, in Kенja we define it as gossiping. So therefore, because we were good, this is it. We were such a good little people, and so we obeyed the rules and we didn't gossip.
By outlawing gossip, you're outlawing people's capacity to really work things out. You're keeping them a wee bit stupid. By doing that, you're actually stopping the seed bed, the hotbed of revolt or rebellion or people getting together and saying, this is really creepy, I'm off.
So even though we spent heaps of time together, you really you didn't just hang out and kind of get to know one another in a normal way. So it's kind of strange, and certainly if you left Kенja, that was it. Your friendships were over in terms of the Kенja people.
Because there is no membership as such, like in the way that you're talking about, people really genuinely do come and go as they wish. So you might have a committee that might...
The basic theory is that we push all the time is that I do not belong to Kенja.
Yeah, exactly.
I hope you do not belong to Kенja. I hope you belong to yourself, and your reason for being here is for your own personal reasons and for your own personal involvement.
Why did I stay around for 7 years, which was too long, and I wish I'd got out earlier, I really do, was the implanting of phobias into members. So the phobia being, if you leave, something terrible is going to happen to you.
So why would I allow negative energy, negative thought to come in? Because thought affects action.
I couldn't leave, and so I was kind of trapped, and I ended up, really I was hallucinating. I believed I was floating, not walking. And I was walking around the streets just talking to myself out loud, mumbling and mumbling.
There are other phobias that are a little bit more intangible, like the phobia, and I had this, that I'm going to be lost. I'm going to go mad if I leave. I'm going to have no friends, because you do have no friends when you leave, because all your friends are in Kенja and they won't talk to you anymore.
Nobody joins Kенja. It's a word I really hate to hear, because this is what all their bloody arguments are about. They're a member of Kенja, they join Kенja. It's like a gymnasium. Would that
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely, Ken. There's no question of that.
The way Kенja works is that they've got to get you to the point where you start to confess about the bad things about you. And then they go, oh, now we're cooking. Now we really can work on something because we know all these bad things that you think about yourself.
I said to him once, and it was fairly early days, this is so good that I'll soon run out of things to process. And he looked at me and he said, not with Uncle Kenny. That's what he's good at.
Why shouldn't we all have access to this reality? That our thoughts, our energy influence what we do. When they
A lot of them would have doubts now and then, but they'd be thinking, these are just negative thoughts, I have to get rid of them. That's what Kенja does so well. It encourages you to believe that there's something wrong with you. If you're not happy, it's your fault. People in these sessions, plenty of them are going unconscious. Just that state of looking into someone's eyes and having all these, and being tired, and having these thoughts arise and feeling whatever, makes you want to zone out, makes you want to, you know.
The chances are very, very high that standing there, staring into somebody's eyes, regardless of what staring into that person's eyes was doing, you're going to slip into your own hypnotic state.
And there's a person in control, and there's another person who is being controlled by the person giving the session. So that's not like meditation where you sit on your own and are with your own thoughts. It's not meditation. It's actually a form of hypnosis and of implanting thoughts and suggestions into the person who's being controlled.
We won't have anything to do with anyone that's involved in hypnosis. We won't allow them in the doors because this is other determining people. This is mind control. Hypnosis is mind control.
Ken trained us to process other people. I liked it because I felt I was helping people. I thought I was pretty good at it. But now I cringe a little bit because I think I really didn't have to do something so intimate and so potentially powerful. Now I really don't think I understood enough about what I was really doing.
Having a degree in sciences doesn't matter a bit. I've trained psychologists and psychiatrists with carriage trade in Melbourne, and I've trained that they've been with me for 5 years training with me just to understand the human mind. 5 years, 5 bloody years, and have stated in front of hundreds of people that I know more about the human mind than their professors knew.
Ken, we were talking about the difference between the mind and the brain. What about the areas that science is still trying to work out, like chemical imbalances, depression, schizophrenia? Can those sort of things be treated by what you're talking about?
Yeah, well, we address them by addressing the cells of the brain. And we've got a way of doing that. The cells of the brain, they shed themselves of inhibitions to their proper functioning. So when you ask me the question, is there such a thing as a diseased mind, unless it is, the disease is a physical thing in there, like some cancer or something like that, no. Is the disease on terms of behaviour? No. I don't agree with it. And I had psychiatrists agree with me too. Which he probably forgot afterwards, because he'd be out of agreement with all the other psychiatrists. Make sense?
Those who very quickly often come unstuck are those that have got a latent mental illness of some kind, whether it be depression, an anxiety disorder, or some form of psychosis. And often it doesn't take long, it's often only a few months before those people start to really unravel.
I did notice Cornelia Rao down in Melbourne degenerate quite severely, quite rapidly.
Cornelia's story begins unremarkably enough. Born in Germany, she'd lived virtually all her life in Sydney.